Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Ground Zero Everyday Leaders. This is episode number 23, and I'm privileged to have a friend, a person whom I have spent a good number of days during my college, and a person whom I met recently during one of my travels. Into Chennai. It gives me immense pleasure to be introducing you to Mr. Chacko Jacob, who is the Deputy Manager Learning and Development at MRF Tyres, the very popular tire company, and we'll know more about it during this conversation, hopefully. But yes, it's an amazing experience for me to be speaking to friends such as Chacko in a formal interview such as this. And Chacko, it's only delightful to be speaking to people like you, because I know that life changes without permission, and it's our attitude that determines the ride. And I know the ride that you have kind of journeyed through, and that's what makes this interview very, very interesting. And I'm sure the audience will find so during this next 30 minutes. Chacko, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Alan. Same here.
Fantastic.
Glad to be here.
I'm as eager as Chacko is to run this conversation with the questions that I've lined up for him. And during this course of time, we'll know so much about this gentleman, who is today a proud parent of two lovely boys, and he's having his beautiful family in Chennai, which is where he is speaking to us from. Tell us a bit about yourself, from where you want to start. Doesn't matter whether it's from the childhood or later part of your age.
Sure, Alan. Okay. So I'd like to basically start out with childhood. My father was also involved with MRF Tyres for most of his career. In fact, he worked only in one company. So my childhood was basically born in Kerala, a place called Perumbavoor. And then we had to shift to Goa because Dad was working out of Goa factory. Okay, so till my second standard, we were in Goa. And after the second standard, he got shifted to Chennai. And from that time, we are very much in Chennai, right? Except for in between, where I studied in Dharwad for a couple of years. I've always been in Chennai, brought up in Chennai. I speak the language here, though I don't actually write I don't read or write, but I speak very fluently. I also teach in that language when required. So my childhood memories were very happy. In fact, till the 10th standard, I had absolutely no problem. Okay, only it's after that when I got into higher academics that I had little bit of problem in my education. But I've been a happy childhood, good friends, good life in general. No complaints. God has been good to me.
You were pursuing your studies in engineering, in a very popular college in Dharwad, and then you later on in when we know about Chacko and we find out what he is up to in his life, we find out that he's actually pursuing his career in HR. Where did the shift come from, and what happened there?
Okay, a good question, Alan. Again, it gives me a lot of thoughts. I had a very good time in Dharwad. Okay, but the fact is this: I did not have the aptitude or the interest for engineering in any sense. In fact, I joined as in a mechanical engineering course, shifted to let's say civil engineering, but all the shifts didn't really help. In fact, after 2.5 years of studying engineering, I had still not completed 2 papers in the first year. Okay, so that was my level as far as engineering was concerned. And at that stage, the only thing I can say is I actually, went through a deep spiritual experience in Dharwad. Okay, like all of you had gone to a place called Potha. And even though I stay in Kerala, my auntie's house is a stone throw away from that place. I never heard of that place whenever I went to Kerala. So I heard it through you guys. And then I took a bold decision after all these experiences to come out of the engineering college. It's very painful because my parents had high hopes. My dad is an IIT gold medalist. Makes it even more difficult, right, for me to drop out of engineering. And I took up a BBA course and worked as a mobile phone salesman. And that's how I picked it up from there. Okay, so completed BBA, MBA. Today, when you look at my degrees, the degrees itself can get me an entry somewhere. I'm a double postgraduate degree holder in marketing and HR, right? And also highly trained in my own field, got a lot of certifications, which many people might even dream of getting such certifications. And God has blessed my career too throughout. Okay, started with very small companies selling mobile phones, selling advertisement space, selling apartments, and then at a stage I felt okay, talking is a gift I have. So either I'm in sales or I have to be in something which can provide more value to people. I thought training is a place where I can provide more value to people,
Mm.
especially the sales related training. So I got into that, right? And then the opportunities for doing other things, other soft skill modules came up, and I took that also. So today I can say like not only just a sales trainer, I'm more of a HR trainer, so which also covers a lot of HR, also covers personality development, covers marketing, a lot of subjects which I am able to take confidently. Yes, life's experiences do help in this too. Okay, so that's how I got into the HR or the training field rather. Okay, HR would logically follow step by step. So when you are into training already, then I got opportunities into the regular HR also, right? Exposure to that, exposure to software used to run stuff. That's how step by step. Today I will say I won't say I'm a HR professional. I'll say I'm more of a learning and development professional. Because out of my 25, 26 years of experience, 19 years have been dedicated to that, learning and development.
They say that HR is work of heart, right? And I think a person who gets associated with HR has to have a good heart. I mean, that's the prerequisite if you want to pursue your career in HR. And I know you mentioned specialization in sales and marketing and so on and so forth. But to have a soul, a heart such as you in the HR department, whether it's the learning and development or any other vertical of the HR, is a blessing.
Thank you, Alan. I do think so that I am a blessing to people, so many of them. Yes.
You actually, midway through your career, also tried venturing into your own enterprise, right? And I think you dived into trying to be an entrepreneur yourself. And I know it's difficult, and it need not be. These are lessons that we learn when we take up certain challenges, and perhaps you also experience those challenges when you pursued your effort in trying to be an entrepreneur.
True, Alan, that's true. But let me tell you, it was more accidental than a plan. See, I
Mm.
was working in a company in Pondicherry. Pondicherry is about 120 to 150 kilometers away from Chennai. And
Yeah.
that was a job which I had outside Chennai, one of my few jobs. I've also worked in Nigeria for a while, but these are the two stints I had away from Chennai. Most of the time I have been in Chennai. So the thing in that company, I was the training manager or the head of training for that company, and they actually saturated in the south. And then they made a plan where they were to shift their operations to Raipur in Chhattisgarh. So when that stage came, I was not okay to shift to that location at that time. At that time, one of the avenues, the job was new, next job was not coming. And one of the avenues was I could get into training.
Right.
Okay. So I pursued training, as a consultant, worked with many of the top consultancy companies operating out of Pondicherry. Because a family was there, the need was I had to operate like that. But most of my training was in Chennai, right? Because Pondicherry is a very small place, very limited training there. So Chennai, Bangalore, and that's the phase where I also got to travel a lot,
Mm.
right? Then what happened is after he completed that particular year of schooling, then we decided to shift to Chennai because my parents and my wife's parents, everybody was in Chennai. So we shifted back to Chennai, and then I continued as a consultant in Chennai.
Right.
So I had one son. Income out of this training business was good enough, right? But it was not a steady income. So at that stage, what I did is, I started looking for a job, and mainly in companies which I was already training and people who knew me. And fortunately, like MRF worked out for me. I did a lot of training for MRF as a consultant
Mm.
through different vendors. I would consider that period as a good period. Okay, but I will say like I was not well prepared, or well prepared for entrepreneurship, right?
Mm.
Maybe even today I feel I would be very good at running a company right now. But then, as an entrepreneur at that stage, I don't think I was ready to take that. I more took it because that was the best way out. Today, looking back, I thank God for that because I trained in the best companies in India.
Yeah, I mean, to be very honest, it's never easy to be an entrepreneur, and I'm also trying to develop my role more as a consultant than a standalone entrepreneur of sorts. But I'm sure there's some relation to that. But as you rightly said, we need to balance life and play the ball in the air, as they say, in various forms. And we do it keeping in mind our family, our well wishers, and so on and so forth. Like you've been a dedicated L&D professional now. I mean, that's what you are. What else do you engage in? I mean, besides that, I know you said training, but I'll consider that as part of your L&D professional.
Sure, sure.
But what
Yeah.
else do you engage yourself into?
Okay, Alan, it is pretty obvious to give an answer to this, right? The one gift I have is I can speak well. Okay, so it's not that I chase after speaking assignments, but whenever I get it, I take it up with open hand and do the level best I can. And an area in which, like, I find nowadays a lot of opportunity coming is in the religious speaking circuit, right? Most people keep calling me back to give talks in churches and talks in religious forums. The reason also could be that I keep it very simple and straightforward, right? And if I have to deliver a message, the message will talk more to your heart and less to your mind. So I find a lot of opportunities as a public speaker. There are even colleges that call me to speak once in a while.
Yeah.
But this is something I do with an equal passion to what I do, with my training.
Important life lessons, Chacko. I mean, something that is an experience of every person in this journey of our life. But what's been your important life lesson?
Yes, Alan, that's a very good question. And I feel that the answer which I give to this question would speak to many people and encourage many people. You see, in Tamil Nadu, if you look at statistics,
Yeah.
okay, almost 40% of the students who fail in the 12th standard, okay, like how I failed in the 12th standard, they actually commit suicide. Okay. Now, two things here is the thought process is that I failed in the 12th and I cannot become anything in life. Okay. I'm totally useless. And when you fail in the 12th, the people around you also don't treat you too well. In my case, it was terrible. Father IIT, this guy can't get past 12th,
Mm.
right? And why is this guy still alive? Now, that's the way people around you speak. I mean, you don't blame them, but that's how it is here. If you fail in the 12th. Now, for me, I fought through all that, correct? You will not be anything, okay? You are useless. All these thoughts, all these things bombarding you. Now, today,
Yeah.
look at me, okay? Just look at where I am today. I'm working with one of the best companies in India, maybe the second best tire company in the whole world. Okay, I work with this company. And I'm not ashamed to say this. Sometimes people who complete IIT, IIM, these are the kind of people sometimes they are put into my charge for training. In
Mm.
MRF, no, there is a grading system. So in sales and marketing, anybody who's senior manager and above in grade, that means senior manager, corporate manager, general manager, vice president also, all these guys are handheld by me for a period of 10 to 15 days
Amazing.
before they get into their functions.
Amazing.
So all I have to say is hold on. Not failing in something is not the end of life.
Good.
Okay. You don't do well in academics, you will do well in something else, but fight on, don't give up.
Good.
Okay. So this is the same thing in college. I
Mm.
wasn't good in college too. I had two subjects arrears in the first year. I was in the danger of becoming a washout for the second time. I
Mhm.
quit there and came back to Chennai with nothing. Again, people criticize me. Okay, father is IIT Goldman, this guy is not fit for living. He has nothing, right? But today, look at today. how it is. The story is quite different. Double postgraduate degree holder in marketing and HR. I have two MBAs, one in marketing, one in HR. Right now, today, if you look at the qualification, it's very impressive. But the story is this. Okay, don't give up. Right? The people around you and your experience in life, your spiritual experience, or the friends around you, family around you, should also support you on this. And if they don't also, yeah, just give the credit to yourself. Yes, I can. And that would be my message to everyone. Don't give up. In every situation where you face a down, you can always bounce back to a very big up. Okay, so down is not the end of it. Your up is coming.
You summarized it beautifully, and certainly that's a life lesson that we as trainers, we as mentors have to kind of portray out there to the youngsters in particular. In fact, I use this kind of a very signature sort of an acronym in my workshops. I call it FAT, which is failure management, anger management, and time management. Right. And I think three essential things that the younger generation have to get adapted to as they grow, because that's exactly what will bother them every time they have a failure, every time they have a situation wherein anger comes into play, and of course, most importantly, how do they manage time? Time spent learning is never a waste of time, right? So beautifully phrased. Coming to that, Chacko, you spent some time writing a book recently. I mean, I know it's published online, and the book is called So Josh, right? And please tell us more about it.
Okay. So, Josh, basically, because two things. Josh means energy, which everyone knows in Hindi or uses that word for energy.
Yes.
The second is my elder son is Joshua. So, Josh is what I call him in short. So,
Right.
it worked out for both. So,
Right.
that's exactly how the book came about. Right. And there was a friend of mine called Gerard Assi. He has authored 53 books. And out of those books, 39 books he authored during the COVID phase. Okay, during the COVID phase. So I was really inspired. I took a thing and I thought, okay, let me start. So this is a very small book. It's actually semi-autobiographical. It talks about me a bit, right? And the journey a bit. It's a very small book. So that's why I prefer to launch it on an e-format. For those of you who are interested, you just type my name, V. Chacko Jacob, on Kindle or Amazon, and you get the book. The book is free to read till 18th October. Huh? There's additional information for you. So you want to read the book, just take it and read it. It's free till 18th October, some kind of a promotion for that. The book has been well received thus far. Whoever has seen it has given me good feedback and encourages me for my next book. I have the titles for my next books ready, right? So one will be called just USA. Okay, USA stands for Unlock Your Selling Ability, right? And then I have one which is called, it's the religious, religious. So it's called Divine Decisions, right? So something which will talk about 10 commandments and divine decrees, rather, not divine decisions, divine decrees.
We wish you the very best in whatever you
Thank
plan
you.
to do, especially your endeavors in writing books, and may many, many books be published in your name. And we look forward to
Thank
that.
you.
Sure.
Thank
Any paper published by you would be interesting to read, Chacko.
Thank you. Thank you.
And staying on that subject of training, Chacko, whom do you consider as your, or if there's anyone you consider as your mentor in training?
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't say actually mentor, but I'll say a person I look up to. Okay. Yes, I do follow him as an example. That's a very simple answer for me also. Basically, there's a gentleman called John K. John. Okay. I know him as Bijoy Chetan. Okay. So in Malayalam, we say Bijoy Annan or whatever. No? Bijoy Bhai. So like that, Bijoy Chetan.
Right.
Now, what I liked about him is he is the head capability development for Reliance today, right? But I found that he always has time to do what he loves to do. See, for example, he has come out with three music albums, three albums. When I met him, one question I asked him was, How do you get the time here? I barely have the time to breathe. How do you get the time to come out with three music albums? The answer
Mm.
is very simple. Okay, Chacko, he calls me Appu. That's actually my nickname. So he says,
Right.
Chax. Okay, Chax. If you love something, you will do it. You won't say there is no time. You will do it. He explained his process, how he spent close to 4 to 6 months creating an album. See, he's working in Reliance also. So if there is an
Mm.
important meeting, he can't record.
Of course.
Okay. And if he's traveling, he can't record. Right? So many challenges. But when he was in Mumbai, he go to the studio at 6:30 in the morning and start recording whatever he can. So painstakingly, step by step. So total now he's come out with 3 albums in total. And I was fortunate to do a program in Chennai with him. He made a CD called At My Father's Business. So I
Mm.
called the program the same thing, same
Right.
name, and I set up a program in Chennai for him where he did sing songs and I spoke the message. So both of us doing what we love to do. He doing singing and me teaching. Both of us doing what we like to do. And then the next part, he made the time at the age of 51, I think, to start learning to play the saxophone. I'm saying, wow, how many guys will do that at that age?
Yeah.
And today, he's almost, I think he's released it already. An album of saxophone songs.
Amazing.
Okay, playing the saxophone. So imagine starting to learn at 51, 53, you have your album out, right? So he continues to do very well in his profession. And he also does whatever he can for the other part of life, the spiritual or enabling, encouraging people or youngsters and all that he does. So I would think that's a good model for me to follow. I'm also working in a very good company, but that shouldn't prevent me from doing something good when I can, when the opportunity presents itself. Of course, there should be no conflict of interest, right?
Oh.
That's obvious. Anything you do on a holiday or on your weekend off day, right? Or you write a book in the night. As long as it doesn't affect your professional engagement and professional work. Okay, I keep that ethics very high.
Mm. So now, I mean, again, an example of time spent learning is never a waste of time.
Never a waste
The
of
more
time.
you say, the more you talk about it, the less it is, because that's what it is. I mean, you spend your time learning, and it's never a waste of time. Your advice to young aspirants, especially in the field of HR or learning and development, is something which would actually encourage youngsters to listen to this podcast, Chacko. Uh,
Sure.
please.
Yeah. Okay. So I also spend time sometimes advising college people on career moves and decisions and all. But
Mm.
my basic advice to anyone pursuing the field of HR is, first of all, let not money be the motivating factor or difficulty be the motivating factor. Some people think HR is comfortable. You sit in AC all the time, whereas the sales guy slogs in the sun. Maybe this is the concept, but I'm telling you, you have to love the job that you do. If you are not a people person, not patient enough to listen to people, right? And you have your checkpoints in your own house. When your mother speaks to you, do you get irritated? If
Yeah.
that's the case, then you are not an apt HR person, right? You have the patience to listen to your own mother and sister first. Then you will listen to anyone who comes up with any problem, and you will be a problem solver. The
Mm.
same thing applies to learning and development too. Okay, it's not enough that you are able to speak very good English or very good Konkani or Hindi. That's not the point.
Mm.
The main thing is you will get a very good barometer. When you speak, how much of what you speak is actually impacting people. Somebody comes and tells you, hey, this particular part where you speak about it was very interesting. So that means you're able to engage people on whatever you're delivering. It can be any subject. It
Mm.
might be great. You have nowadays content is not a problem, Alan, right? From
Absolutely.
Alaska to Zanzibar, there are people putting out content on the internet. You will get the content and you can also deliver it very well. But what differentiates is the soul, right?
Mm.
Are you able to touch the heart of someone who's listening to you? As a trainer, you are not a god. You cannot change all 32 guys sitting in your class. But 4 or 5 people, are they coming back and telling you, your session impacted me? It changed me. Okay, it can be even a simple thing. You spoke about saving money, right? From this month, I'm going to start saving money. Right? Are you able to create that impact in at least 10% of your audience?
Mm.
If then you're on the right track, right? So
Yeah.
I will say that not only interest, get yourself qualified to do that job. If you're, for example, L&D, get enough of certifications for the L&D field. There are so many. Get
Absolutely.
them in the area that you're interested, and then go forward. Okay. And one thing I'll tell you, which is irreplaceable, people can feel your passion, right? So if you don't like doing it, if you're just putting up a show, people will read it, right? So
Right.
you should really like standing in front of people and delivering it. So people see that energy, they see, feel your passion. And that is half of the battle done as a trainer. Content will take care of itself. Okay. Basically, when people understand you're energetic, you're passionate, you love what you're doing, then they will also listen to your content. Correct. But if they feel that, okay, this guy is just, just reading out of a PPT, there's nothing special. I can get this PPT on Google here. Why should I listen to this guy? So I'll say the key word is you have the passion for people or the passion to, make a difference to people. Then HR and L&D, yes, they are for you, right? So only look at that. Don't bother about anything else. Okay, someone else is very stylish. I come across people who are
Mm.
fantastic in English. End of the day, the guy questioned, what was he talking? And I was not able to understand a single thing. See,
Mm.
the point is you're training to make people understand something. Correct.
True.
So you should go down to that level or rise up to that level where your audience can understand you. Once you're done that, your battle is done. So I'll encourage any youngsters listening. You have passion for doing this, you should go for it. Okay, like me, like I said, the passion for it will quite okay. You will also do well. You have the passion for what you're doing. Go ahead, chase your dreams.
Yeah. No, I think authenticity matters, right? I mean, you need to
True,
be
Alan.
real. You need to be real. You need to be genuine, and the rest it falls in place. I kind of remember it's very popularly kind of portrayed in and circulated within the social media these days. Uh, Richard Branson's quote where he says, "Train people well enough so they can leave. Treat them well enough so they don't want to leave." So I
True.
think in HR, you need to have that heart of treating people well enough so that
Yes.
they don't have to leave. Because training is a part and parcel. It's that profession that you kind of indulge into, which kind of drives you to provide to others. But what's
True.
more important, I think, is how you treat people. I think that forms a very important component of training, learning, and development in HR.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And I think that's a beautiful note to end this show or this interview, Chacko. We've had a lovely time interacting and spending and talking to each other. And I think what we picked up today is an amazing experience of Chacko Jacob's genuine heart. And that's the heart we wanted to portray out there to the world through this little interview and through this little journey that we had today as friends, as folks who have grown together, and especially during that phase which Chacko explained so beautifully during this interview, when he had the most challenging times, the time when he was in a turmoil of decision making, but he came out of it because he had the hand of God upon him. So Chacko, it's wonderful talking to you as always. Uh, we've always been in touch, and that makes me feel happy. More importantly, we are all proud of the achievements you have had in your life, and the blessings that have gone down upon you and your family has been amazing. So, with that, genuinely, thank you very much from the bottom of our heart, and wishing you all the best in whatever you plan to do and the endeavors that you have going ahead. I'm sure they'll all be successful. God bless. Thank you very much, Chacko.
Thank you, Alan, and God bless you too, and God bless your family, and to everyone who's listening, God bless you all. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes, and thank you, audience, for listening in through this genuine talk heart to heart that we had. So with that, we conclude today's program, and I request you all to continue watching Ground Zero Everyday Leaders. It's about the leaders on the ground who bring out a strong message, a message which is so inspiring to all of us and so much needed in today's world to stay grounded. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
And it's always a pleasure to be talking to people such as these. Chacko Jacob, a top L&D professional with over 23 years of experience in marketing, HR and training, who has worked in top corporate companies both in India and Nigeria, currently heading training for sales and marketing department at MRF Tyres. And above all of this, he remains to be a humble human being, a soul who can connect with anyone and everyone around him. May he have many more successes ahead and many blessings be upon him and his family.